love a good bronzy moment, especially when you only have to use one palette to get it. First, we start out by prepping our lids. I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Concealer. This is an old shade. I don't think they make this shade anymore. This is in the shade Golden. With the amount of product that's on the lid, I use that to coat my brush. It is a like flat brush. And go ahead and trace out under the eyebrows. Go ahead and carve that out to whatever type of look you're going for with your eyebrows. Now we're gonna make sure that all that concealer on the eyelid is blended out and patted into the lid. And personally, I like to do this one by one so that there's no creasing. And I'm gonna take my pressed powder, because we like to use pressed powder around here, and press that into the eyelid just so that it doesn't mix and move with our eyeshadow. So we have a nice, smooth, even base. Personally, I love using concealer as an eyeshadow base. I don't really like using those eyeshadow primers, and I have really oily eyelids. I think this personally works the best, but you have to make sure that you're using a full coverage concealer. I feel like that's also what creates it to last longer, and pressing it down with a pressed powder. This is the palette we're working with today. It is the Made by Mitchell Face Case palette, the 5th Dimension palette. And personally, this has everything that I want for a glowy, bronzy eye look. I'm gonna stick with these shadows today. Starting with Zendaya, I'm gonna go ahead and use a fluffy brush and really focus on the outer corner of the eye. First, tap that to place all the pigment right on the outer eye, and then I'm going to go in with circular motions into the center. But I'm going to take that all along this deep crease area. I just pack that on until I'm really content with the amount of product on there and just the color payoff that I want. Pro tip to really understand the shape of your eye or anyone else's eye that you may be doing is actually keeping the eye open and working with it open so that you can actually see where the eye curves and what you're actually visibly going to see with the eye if it's open and they're just like conversation with someone, because we're not talking with our eyes closed. So in order to actually see how the eye is going to look, just keep the eyes open. I'm just realizing that this is basically named off of artists or famous people. And the next shade we're going into is Kravitz. And we're gonna take that on a smaller fluffy brush and we're gonna pat that right on that outer corner, but a little bit more in from what we use for Zendaya. So like a little bit on that lash line, and we're gonna keep it in this little V section. Just to add some dimension. You see a difference in the eyes, yeah. Just also keeping the eyes open just so we can see how it's really gonna look in an everyday setting. Now that I have it on the outer corner as much as I want, I'm gonna take the same brush, I'm not gonna put any more product on it, and I'm also going to run it a little bit into or along the crease and into the inner corner. I'm not going to add any product, I just want to use whatever is already there. Now for my absolute favorite part, I feel like this is really what makes the look like so beautiful. And I saw Made by Mitchell also do the same exact technique. And since then I was like, he was up to something, I see it. And actually he was using the same exact palette. So I'm gonna take Priyanka and I'm gonna take a more tapered fluffy brush. You see how it's a little bit more shaped into a tapered angle. I'm gonna take that, and I'm not gonna tap into the product. I'm really gonna feather it over the eyeshadow, and I'm also gonna feather it onto my lid. We're not tapping and pressing it in. No, we're gonna feather it on. And I feel like that just gives the most dispersed, beautiful glow. I saw him do that and it changed my whole entire mindset. Just absolutely stunning. Now I'm gonna take more of a flat packing brush and I'm going to use the shade Court. I'm going to use that on the inner corner just to brighten that up. You see how it's a little bit more brighter than this side. I like to have a little bit more brightness in the center of the face. Now this is always completely optional, but I'm going to take a glitter stick or a glitter crayon. This one's from Half Magic. This is in the shade Beige Mystique. And I'm just going to tap that right in the center of that glitter, just so it can be even more shocking, like more bright. I'm not gonna take it all over the whole glitter. I'm just putting it right in the center of the glitter. A little bit of a gradient into that color. You can take whatever brown eyeliner that you like. In my case, I just go in with another shadow and go ahead and put that on the lash line. I like it to be a little softer than actually adding eyeliner sometimes, so why not? You can add eyeliner. I do add eyeliner sometimes. Sometimes my clients don't like eyeliner, so I'll just go in with a shadow. Just create something very soft. I just went ahead and throw on some lashes. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the face, and I'll be right back for the finished look. These are the completed eyes. Just love a good bronzy moment, especially when you only have to use one palette to get it. I hope you guys try it, and let me know if you guys do in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.